As one of the original legends of surviving numerous fatal encounters, Lara Croft is extremely skilled at surviving everything the universe throws at her. Unless, of course, she's controlled by me, then that's no longer true at all. Back in March or April, I attempted to beat Tomb Raider, the 2013 reboot, without dying a single time. I lost so very badly, over and over, that I had to call it, deciding to return some other time. That other time, finally, has come. And while I intended to do a bow-only challenge, that proved far too easy. So can you beat Tomb Raider without dying even a single time on hard difficulty? If I do die, I'll have to restart the whole game. I do want to warn everyone, this game is on the more gruesomely painful side of things at times, so you might want to skip it if it's not for you. So with a spoiler warning, let's go be the second worst archaeologist ever and avoid becoming a victim of any tombs. This might look really bad, but I'd argue it's very snug, plus out of reach of any ground bugs, so maybe not the worst place to sleep. Much like a normal night in though, I managed to light myself on fire and fall towards imminent pain. Thank the force that I can pause the game, or Lara could have seriously gotten hurt. I'm then introduced to Lara's main form of exiting any room, blowing everything up and jogging away with the hope that I won't fall to my death, or get crushed by a boulder. I can't help but feel Lara would be less likely to die if she simply moved objects out of the way, instead of just blowing everything up. But I guess in this economy, what's a gal to do? Nothing like almost dying every 2 seconds to keep life interesting. What I respect about Lara is that she can't seem to do anything, such as retrieving the first weapon, the bow, without incurring serious head trauma. I take a nice break from hurting myself to chat with the main villain of the game, Matthias, before he vanishes with my friend Sam and leaves me alone so I can go back to hurting myself once again. Jesus Christ, Lara! We're only 20 minutes into the game! You can't be taking this much damage this fast! I absolutely love moments later after escaping it. She's perfectly fine, and I have zero trouble fighting off some wolves and jumping around to solve the first tomb of the game. Nice to see Lara apparently has a very effective healing factor. Too bad none of her friends do when the crazed cult of the island, the Solari, reveal themselves and begin rounding up and executing everyone. I'd like to say I made it safely through, but I'd spent so much time stealthing as MJ in the Spider-Man game, I forgot the mechanics aren't the same for enemy awareness, and down I went. Even when I'm not playing Spidey, the MJ missions still manage to mess with me. Nice thing about dying so fast is it doesn't take long to get back, and this time, not to repeat such a silly mistake so I can get a drop on the Solari. That is, when they're not getting a drop on me in a much more literal sense. What should be a simple stealth archery takedown of one of the first fights erupts into a blazing moment of failure, as I not only take repeated hits from marksmen better than me, but also commit the cardinal sin of standing in the fire. I had hoped that months away doing other challenges would lead to me being more prepared for this. But on the bright side, my streak of being wrong is still holding up. Going again, I do nearly meet the Grim Reaper in that same fight, but thankfully my enemies aren't too good about keeping their heads behind cover. I mean it. These guys are absolutely horrendous about using cover, which is why the bow-only challenge didn't work for me with how easy of targets they are. Especially doesn't help their odds when I lay my hands on a machine gun and can begin mowing them down much more efficiently. Though I'm admittedly still partial to the bow, as I can be much more at nature when I'm massacring psycho cultists, and that's what really counts. It can backfire when my bad aim meets the bad aim of a shield enemy, and we just keep going back and forth, trying to kill each other and missing horribly. It's nice to know I can make anything awkward, even a savage fight to the death. Ah, hell, I'm just gonna resort to the pistol and we can just pretend I Legolas'd him. While I wait for the rescue, I'd like to point out I don't believe in Thor, and there's nothing you can do to convince me he's real. I'd like to retract my last statement. Oddly enough, sliding down a mountain with a flaming crashing plane tumbling down behind you is actually one of the safest sequences, and not very dangerous. Who knew? That's why the game immediately hits Lara a second later with all these buildings collapsing underneath her, and when she survives that, gets attacked by more crazy cultists. I absolutely love that every single run, Lara just tanks this machete thrower while she's trapped. Being it's unavoidable and happens every single time, that makes it canon that Lara can take through a machete blade without any actual negative effects. That's scarily impressive, and once again suggests my theory that Lara Croft is a superhuman. She needs to be, given her penchant for falling large distances in the most painful ways possible, yet immediately continuing on moments later like nothing happened. As I'm swept down a river of death, barely avoiding being instant killed, and then having to do the same thing a heartbeat later, I realized a key thing. The universe is clearly wanting Lara to suffer and die, and is doing everything it can to make that happen. But the legend that she is absolutely refusing. Truly an inspiration. Except the fact that I'm gunned down in a massive Solari battle a minute later. That's about what I should have expected. The one really annoying thing about this challenge is the cutscenes. They are skippable, which is great. Not great is that they're also prone to crashing the game half the time if you try and skip them. A fun little gamble that's fun for no one, but it honestly does give me a little sigh of relief every time it actually works right. 2 hours later, I'm about to reach where I died last when a firefight causes me to lose just enough health that I manage to save them a bullet by dodging right into a nearby pit of fire. Very generous of me, I know. But what you don't know is I'm something of a speedrunner myself. Yep, I managed to get myself killed 7 minutes into a new run when a fall I've done tons before and after with zero consequences just decides to kill me this time. I'm truly becoming a master of failing. The nice trade-off of such a quick failure is this time I'm actually able to shoot my way through waves of Solari, though admittedly I do get quite distracted for a while, just collecting every piece of salvage and lore I can find for extra experience and better gear. Well, that, and purposely get caught in a trap so I can unload my pistol endlessly. I don't really understand the science of it, but something about hanging upside down makes it so my pistol never runs out of ammo, and I unleash hell on these poor fools who can't understand Lara's superhuman abilities. The interesting thing about the combat in this game is that any fight can destroy me in a heartbeat, since Lara can't withstand much damage. But all my foes are incredibly simple-minded. Plus, Lara's a walking armory. This means I can absolutely fly through the fights as long as I follow the simple strategy of sticking to cover at all times, and taking advantage of all the heads peeking out. Plus, the poorly placed explosive barrels they keep everywhere. After sneaking my way into saving Sam from the cult, cutscene Lara decides to attack with only her bow, which leads to her getting captured almost right away. It's not like she has a shotgun, assault rifle, or even a pistol she could have used. Oh wait, no, they are literally taking those off of her, so it seems she did. Guess she just wanted to challenge herself and just like me, fails at it. Doesn't take long to escape capture, though with only my bow, I'm quite nervous, but thankfully none of these enemies are showing any caution, and also love to hang out near flammable gas. Which I know they're not the sanest bananas of the bunch, but why are they just hanging out next to a bunch of green flammable gas instead of, not doing that? After blowing up even more of these unstable caverns and barely surviving the consequences of my own actions, I rescue the other survivors and race through the now burning palace of the Solari. Just because everything is on fire doesn't mean I can't take the time to loot the dead. I'm a true loot rat through and through after all. Well, that guy got the drop in Stop, Drop, and Roll Down, but I think he needs to work on the rest. When I tried this challenge months ago, this large firefight amongst the literal fire is the furthest I ever made. But this time, with ample application of my assault rifle to the heads and limbs of my enemies, I managed to emerge victorious. And as a reward, the game both gives me a grenade launcher for more death-dealing power, and then does everything possible to blow me up, with forces that a grenade launcher can't do anything against but make worse. Only making a Commander Shepard level jump off this building into a helicopter is Lara finally free and clear. Until it immediately crashes and Lara's mentor is killed by a freaking hatchet to the back. A hatchet? Really? You just couldn't shoot the poor guy? Damn. At least I'm finally reunited with all my friends and we can tackle everything as a team, and they're gone again. Of course. Do I stink or something? Probably I actually do, with the amount of disgusting things Lara has waded through lately. Despite my stench, I stealthily take out hunters looking for me in the dark, but nearly die moments later. I can't say my shooting was top notch here, but something about getting chomped at by wolves while simultaneously shot at by a group of angry cultists with assault rifles has a habit of making me nervous for some reason. If I didn't have a low wall to cower behind, I'd have died for sure. No, no. Instead, I saved dying for a hard battle a short time later that offers next to no cover while a tremendous amount of bullets rain down on me. Well, frick. That's what I get for not bringing an umbrella. There goes 4 hours of that run. At least since I made it that far, it shouldn't take long to make it back, right? Well, alright. 21 hours later is a short time from a certain point of view, I suppose. I'm just glad these guys decided they wanted to turn this into an anime and slash me with a sword rather than use their much, much more effective weapons. I'll take all the help I can get. In fact, if possible, can I get the health of this giant lad? He's massive and just slugs off all my slugs to the head. I keep missing the QTE as well, but thankfully nothing ever bad comes from it, except extending the boss fight. He refuses to die, but I refuse to also, so it's another awkward stalemate. With all that fighting and explosions safely escaped from, time for a leisure zipline ride down to safety. Wow, I didn't know you could even die there. That's about my luck. Several magnificently painful deaths later and tons of fighting, and I'm back to this evil zipline, this time having zero trouble from it whatsoever. There's no time to rest with my friends. I'm wasting time when I could be getting shot at. Thankfully, more waves of Solari help me out with that, but none can outgun the arsenal that I'm hauling everywhere at this point. How frickin' strong is Lara that she can climb sheer rock faces while hauling around a bunch of scrap, artifacts, guns, ammo, and all the while she's been heavily damaged with little food or water over the past couple days? She's clearly superhuman. There's no doubt at this point. Unfortunately, while I was off getting shot at, Sam went ahead and got kidnapped again, so I raced to save her from being sacrificed to a crazy undead storm queen. But this time, the island's supernatural guardians, a bunch of angry samurai, block my way. This really escalated. The fight starts with me taking 2 hard sword slashes, and I'm certain I'm doomed. But miraculously, I'm still alive. Samurai armor and supernatural powers are great. Until they meet the bad side of my shotgun. Honestly, from here, it's actually pretty simple. While the Solari have acted all game like these guardians are the most dangerous threat ever, it turns out bows and swords are very easily countered by rifle and shotgun. And the final big climb to save Sam would be impossible, if not some perfectly timed lightning strikes that clear the way for me to make it through. But surely, when I'm pinned down by the wind and about to die to the samurai, nothing can save me. Well, that was convenient. Another big guy stands in my way, this one only vulnerable to backblast, so I'm more than happy to give him the Tobey Maguire treatment.
My back! Oh, my back!
The big guy poses zero threat, and suddenly I'm facing off with Matthias. This is the guy that has all of Lara's plot armor, since every single time we meet him, Lara keeps insisting on using her worst weapons to fight him, instead of, you know, using that very handy shotgun or rifle she's been using every other moment. But nonetheless, I beat the QTE and send him falling right out of the game. Not sure that the subtitles are needed here. I can probably figure that one out on my own. Huzzah! After 45 hours, 11 minutes total, and 4 hours, 19 minutes of my final run, with a total of 18 failed attempts, I've beaten Tomb Raider without dying. I'm a huge fan of the Tomb Raider series, so it was great to finally win this challenge. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm wishing you all an amazing day, and perhaps more importantly, the superhuman survival skills of Lara Croft herself. See you later, friends.